Hello everyone, I'm Texas Game Warden Travis Fountain of St. Augustine County, and what I'm here today is talk to you about water safety. So when we talk about water safety, we're going to start with the most important thing that every boat needs to make sure that you have for everybody on board, and that is going to be a life jacket. Life jacket is also known as a PFD, or a personal flotation device, and everybody has to look for the proper life jacket. And how you find out if it's the proper life jacket, on each life jacket there's a U.S. Coast Guard number and a label on the inside, and it will tell you the type of flotation device it is. It will tell you the rating, size rating is for. So this one is an adult large. This is the one that I like to wear. And so whenever you're looking at getting a life jacket for yourself, you have to make sure that you get the right size, because you can have a life jacket that is too small or too big, so depending on your size. So you got to make sure that you get the right size. And they come in different variances. They come in a standard normal life jacket that's got mesh and everything in it. You have the one that everybody knows, and then they have inflatable ones. And the inflatable ones are mechanical. They either go by water activation or depth activation, or just by a pull cord. I prefer these because it's not mechanical, and so even no matter what happens, if you fall in the water, these are going to keep you afloat. Next thing we're going to go over is a Type 4 throwable. And a Type 4 throwable is what this is. A lot of people know them as a chair or anything, so that's what we try to do to help them recognize what it is. But on the same deal, it has a U.S. Coast Guard label. And right here it says a throwable device Type 4 PFD. The reason why you got to have a throwable device is because if somebody falls in the water and you need to get them help somehow to get them something to float on, you can throw this to them, because this will throw and go a lot further distance than what one of these standard life jackets will. Because when you go to throw one of these, if the wind's blowing, it'll catch the wind no matter which direction the wind's going, or it may open up and it might not even go far enough, close enough to them to get to them. Now, what I'm going to talk about is a fire extinguisher. Every boat's got to have a fire extinguisher, and the fire extinguishers come in different ways. This one is a normal one with a metal pin and a gauge on it. And so what you have to do is you always have to make sure that the fire extinguisher is serviceable. And so the way to tell that they're serviceable is right here on this gauge. There's a gauge right here that has red and a little bitty line that has green in it. In the green, if the yellow arrow is pointing in the green, then it is good. If it is pointing in the red, it is not serviceable. One of the problems that we also see, the pin has already been either pulled out or has fallen off. If the pin has already came out, it is not serviceable. The other type of fire extinguisher there is has a plastic top with a yellow pin that goes to the top of it and a little white button. And that one, if it has a white button, it should be a little green spacer in between there, to where if the yellow pin is still in there, you should be able to depress it down. And then once you depress it down, it should pop back up. If it does not pop back up, then the fire extinguisher is out of pressure and is no longer serviceable. Next thing we're going to talk about a sound producing device. Every boat has to have a sound producing device, whether it be a horn or a whistle. For me, on our boat, this being my life jacket, I keep a whistle attached to me at all times. So I always have my sound producing device with me. But we also have a little air horn that's in the boat as well. But this is what I keep with me, is because it's a whistle, so I never have to go searching for it. I always have it in readily accessible access. Next, what we're going to talk about is the navigation lights. The navigation lights help determine which direction the boat is going, or if there is one stationary. So each boat has to have a red and a green front nav lights that has to be seen from 120 degrees from the point that they're seen. So it should be a green light 120 degrees to the right, or the starboard side. Green will always be on the starboard side or the right side, and the red light should be seen 120 degrees from the front over, and that is on the port side. So red will always be on the left or port side of the boat. Then you have to have an all-around white light that is on top of the boat. It has to be the highest point on the boat, so that way it can be seen from 360 degrees. So if you're just stationary, you're not moving, the all-around white light at night will show boaters that you are stationed there, and they know that they need to stay away from that area. On top of that, at night, if you're seeing a boat moving and you see its nav lights, if you see red, you have to treat that boat as if it's a stop sign. So in other words, red means stop. That means they have the right of way, so you have to let them pass before you can pass. But on the same instance, if you're going and you see a green, that means you have the right of way. That means they have to stop for you, and it works vice versa. So basically, if you see green light, you're good to go. If you see red, you have to yield to allow them to pass. Now, what we're going to talk about next is the kill switch, which is on top of the boat, which you'll have to come over here to see. This is a new law that just got passed back in 2019, that anytime the boat is above headway speed, which basically means on plane or moving, this has to be attached to you at all times. What this is the kill switch. The kill switch, as it's attached to you, say if you fall out of the boat, you get knocked around or something like that, it's going to pull and it's going to shut the engine off. And that way you don't have to worry about the boat continuing driving off, or if you happen to fall out of the boat, it may start doing circles and it may circle back around and maybe possibly run you over. But you don't want that to happen, and this right here, the kill switch, is to prevent that. Now, just a few clerical things on things. Boater's education. Boater's education is required for anyone that is born on or after September 1st of 1993. What this is a course that is basically regulated by the Coast Guard. The Coast Guard sets all the rules and regulations for water safety. A state can strengthen the law for Coast Guard regulations, but they cannot loosen them. So all the water safety regulations are pretty much standard throughout the United States. It's just some states may have more stricter laws and require more requirements for water safety. And that's what the boater education course is for, is to educate you on just about the general gist of all the water safety laws. And then the boating safety is to make sure that you're out there and you're doing it safely, you're doing it properly. And that way you can have a nice, enjoyable time out on the water. So remember these important things. You got to have life jackets, not just for yourself, but for everybody that's on board, and that they're the proper size. Fire extinguisher. The fire extinguisher needs to be readily accessible, and it needs to be serviceable to where it can work when you may need it. A Type 4 throwable. You can use it as a seat cushion, but it is for if somebody falls over the water or if somebody needs help, you can throw it to them and then they can properly get afloat and they can maybe hang on to it until you can get them back on the boat. Then you also need a sound producing device. A sound producing device is to keep with you at all times, so that way in case you're in danger, you can blow the whistle and people know that you are in distress. Or during the boater's education course, you will learn that there are certain bursts of whistle that notifies other boaters of certain situations. And then it's the nav lights. Nav lights have to come on at sunset. It's not 30 minutes after sunset, it is at sunset. And the thing about sunset is you have to look at each day for what time sunset is. So each day, sunset will actually change at the time of each day. And last but not least is the kill switch. As I said, this has to be attached at all times when you're underway and you're above headway speed. Again, I'm Texas Game Warden Travis Fountain with St. Augustine County, and if you have any questions, be sure to contact your local game warden, and they will be more than happy to help you out and get you on the right way for safe boater safety. Thank you.